Welcome, my friend. Today, you're not just learning English, you're learning how English can change your life, step by step, word by word. This story is about a boy named Liam, a boy who once couldn't say, "How are you?" without fear, yet turned that fear into power, purpose, and freedom. He didn't grow up rich or confident. He grew up shy, unsure, and silent. Like many of us who study for years but never dare to speak. English was just another school subject. Grammar rules, blank spaces, repeated phrases, no meaning, no feeling, no connection, just memorization and marks. But inside, Liam had a quiet dream. He wanted to speak, not to impress people, but to express himself. He wanted his voice to be heard. The first time he tried to speak English, he froze, his hands shook, his heart raced, his voice disappeared. The class laughed. That moment hurt more than any bad grade. From that day, he decided to stay silent. He avoided English. He avoided attention. Every time someone spoke English, it felt like a wall he couldn't climb. He thought the problem was his mouth, but the real problem was fear. Fear of judgment, fear of mistakes, fear of not being good enough. Maybe you felt that too, when your mind goes blank, when your tongue feels heavy, when you know the words but can't say them out loud. Liam's parents didn't speak English. They worked hard every day just to survive. English was a luxury no one had time for. It belonged to smart people. But one night changed everything. He was watching a short English video on his old phone. The speaker said, "You don't need to be perfect. Just start talking." Those words hit him hard. He realized he had been waiting for the perfect sentence, the perfect moment. But perfection never comes before practice. That night, he looked into a cracked mirror in his small room. He took a deep breath and whispered, "Hello, my name is Liam." Then again, and again, until it felt real. He laughed at first. It sounded strange, even funny. But that mirror became his teacher, his partner, his private classroom where no one judged him. Each day, he challenged himself. One sentence in the morning, one word before bed, one topic every week. He spoke to his reflection until his voice stopped shaking. When he didn't understand something, he didn't quit. He guessed. He repeated. He kept going. Because progress comes from patience, not perfection. Weeks passed. Then something magical happened. One morning on his way to school, he saw a dog cross the street and thought, "The dog is crossing the road." In English, for the first time, he didn't translate. He didn't plan. He just thought in English. And that single moment felt like victory. Small but powerful. From that day, everything changed. He started describing life around him. The sun is bright. The air is warm. My friend is laughing. Simple words. Strong training. Without realizing, he was training his brain, not just his tongue. And that's the secret. Fluency begins in the mind long before it reaches your mouth. Months later, his teacher asked the class to read aloud. Normally, he would pretend to be sick. But that day, he stood up. His voice trembled, yet he spoke. He made mistakes. He mispronounced words, but he finished the paragraph for the first time. No one laughed. The teacher smiled and said, "Good job, Liam. You've improved." That single sentence changed him. He realized he didn't need approval. He just needed courage. The courage to speak, even when afraid. He promised himself, "I'll never stop again." Not because he was fluent yet, but because he had finally found something more powerful than fear, belief. When he looked back, he didn't see luck. He saw discipline. The mirror didn't teach him English. It taught him consistency. It taught him faith in effort. And that's where Liam's real journey began. Not in school, not in class, but in that small room, facing himself. Just him, his voice, and his dream to speak freely. So if you feel stuck today, remember this. You don't need a perfect accent, a big class, or expensive tools. You just need a mirror. Start there, start small, start now, and like Liam, you'll see that every sentence you speak is a step closer to the life you want. Stay with me, because in the next part, you'll see how Liam turned that mirror into his daily English training gym. After that small success, something inside Liam changed. For the first time, he felt free, not perfect, not fluent, just free to try. He realized something powerful. He didn't need anyone's permission to speak English. He didn't need a class, a teacher, or perfect grammar. He only needed himself, his mind, his mouth, and his mirror. That tiny cracked mirror became the place where his confidence was born. Every night, after finishing his homework, he would stand in front of that mirror and talk, sometimes loud, sometimes soft, but always honest. When he forgot a word, the mirror waited. When he made mistakes, it didn't laugh. When he hesitated, it didn't judge. It simply reflected his effort. That was the moment he understood something all learners must know. Fluency doesn't start with words. It starts with courage. Liam created his own rule. I will speak every day, no matter what. It didn't matter how tired he was or how late it became. He began his routine, not fancy, not difficult, just real, simple actions done daily. And that routine changed his entire life. Morning, as soon as he woke up, he would look in the mirror and say, "Good morning, Liam. Today you will speak English." At first, it felt strange, but repetition turned it into belief. Every morning, those same words built his mental strength and focus. After breakfast, he would stand near the window and describe the world outside. The sky is blue, the birds are singing, my hands feel cold. He didn't worry about grammar. He didn't care about perfection. He just wanted to make his brain and mouth move together. At midday, he returned to the mirror again. This time, he spoke longer. He introduced himself. He talked about his life. He practiced conversation. My name is Liam. I am 16 years old. I live in a small town. Today is Monday. I woke up at 6 o'clock. He imagined speaking to someone. Hello. Thank you for having me. Today, I want to share my English journey. Slowly, his words became natural. In the evening, he watched short English videos on his phone with subtitles. He paused after each line and repeated it exactly, matching tone and rhythm. Would you like some coffee? Pause. Would you like some coffee? Again and again, until his mouth could move without fear or effort. He didn't just copy the words. He copied the energy, the emotion, the melody of real English. His mouth became his instrument. At night, before sleeping, he whispered to himself, "Tomorrow, I will speak better English." That small sentence became his silent promise. He followed this system for 30 days without missing a single one. He didn't complain. He didn't wait for motivation. He just did it. After 10 days, he noticed something strange. He no longer translated in his head. Sentences came faster, smoother, more automatic. After 20 days, he could speak short thoughts naturally. After 30, his voice became stronger than his fear. He wasn't fluent yet, but he was consistent, and consistency always beats talent, always. When his teacher asked for a volunteer to speak, Liam didn't hide. He stood up. He remembered the mirror. He remembered his practice. He began, "Good morning, everyone. My name is Liam. I want to share why English is not just a language. It is an opportunity." The room went quiet. This time, no laughter. Some clapped, some nodded. Even his teacher said, "Liam, you've grown. Keep going." Those words gave him power, not pride. power, the kind that comes when effort finally meets reward. He realized that when he practiced in front of the mirror, he wasn't just learning English, he was training three parts of himself: his mind to think in English, his mouth to speak clearly, his heart to believe without doubt. That combination changed everything. The mirror was no longer just glass. It was his gym, his classroom, his reflection of progress. He discovered something every learner needs to hear. Your room can become your English world if you choose to make it one. You don't need perfect tools. You don't need expensive courses. You just need the will to speak. Daily, honestly, fearlessly. That was the foundation of his fluency. Not luck, not talent, but practice repeated every day until English became natural. Each day, he built a little more confidence. Each mistake became a lesson, not an enemy, and slowly, fluency became his habit. So, if you feel lost or stuck, remember Liam's mirror. Start today. Speak one line, repeat it, believe it, let it grow. Because English isn't learned in one big moment, it's built in small daily moments, one brave sentence at a time. Stay with me, my friend, because in the next part, Liam will show you how he stopped learning English and started training his brain to think in English. After a month of daily mirror talk, something inside Liam shifted. His tongue no longer felt heavy. His thoughts started to move faster. He could form simple sentences without fear. He could describe his day, talk to himself, and even make jokes in English. But something still felt slow. He realized he was still translating in his head. Every time he wanted to speak to someone, his brain paused to find the English words. One morning, on his way to the market, he saw a young girl drop a bag of rice. He bent down to help her pick it up. He wanted to say, "It's okay." But before his mouth moved, his brain translated the sentence from his native language to English. By the time he found the words, the moment had passed. That's when he understood the real problem. His mouth wasn't slow, his brain was. That night, he sat in front of the mirror again and said to himself, "I don't need to learn English. I need to train my brain in English." That became his new rule. If he could think in English, he could speak in English. So he began training not just his mouth, but his mind. Step 1. Break the translation habit. Translation is the biggest enemy of fluency. Most learners think in their native language first, then translate. That's why they sound slow and uncertain. Liam decided to stop doing that. He would think directly in English, even with simple words. He started small. "I'm walking. I'm hungry. That dog is barking." Simple thoughts, direct English, no translation, no fear, no overthinking. He practiced this everywhere, while brushing his teeth, while walking to school, while cooking with his mom. Every activity became English practice. He made a new rule: never think twice in two languages. Only one, English. If he forgot a word, he described it using other words. He would say, "I don't know the word, but it's something like," and continue. That habit trained his brain to stay alive in English. Step 2. Make English your inner voice. Everyone has one. That voice you hear when you're thinking, daydreaming, or planning something in your head. Liam decided that his inner voice would speak English only. Every time he caught himself thinking in his native language, he stopped and restarted in English. It felt slow at first, but within weeks, it became automatic. He could walk, think, and even argue with himself in English. When he saw the sun, his brain said, "It's a bright morning." When it rained, "The sky looks sad today." When tired, "I need some rest." English was no longer something he learned. It became something he lived. His thoughts turned into English automatically, like breathing. Step 3. Use real life as practice. Liam didn't need books anymore. The world around him became his classroom, full of free lessons every day. In the bathroom, the water is cold. I need a towel. In the kitchen, the rice smells good. The spoon is missing. Before the mirror, I look tired. I must sleep early. My English is improving. Simple lines, spoken daily, built his fluency faster than any grammar book. He realized you don't need more vocabulary. You need awareness. Describe what you see. Describe what you feel. Describe your life in English. That's how your English grows, not from memorizing lists, but from living with English. It's around you all the time. Step 4. Ask yourself questions in English. Liam began having small conversations with his brain. What will I eat today? Why am I tired? He answered out loud. I'll eat eggs. I'm tired because I slept late. I'll go to bed earlier tonight. Each question made him think faster in English. Soon, he wasn't just speaking, he was reasoning, reflecting, and learning in English. His brain had become his best teacher. One night, while walking after dinner, he noticed something. For the past 20 minutes, he had been thinking completely in English without realizing it. No translation, no pause, just smooth, natural thoughts. That was the moment he knew. He was no longer learning English. He was living it. He smiled under the stars. He had finally reached a place he once thought impossible. His brain had become fluent before his mouth did. He wished someone had told him this earlier. Your brain is your real classroom if your thoughts are in English. Your words will follow naturally. He no longer chased big, fancy words. He mastered simple ones and used them confidently. That was the real key to fluency. He made mistakes in silence, so he could speak with power in public. He learned that practice doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to be consistent. Liam's secret was simple. He made his brain his best friend. He made English his daily voice, and that changed everything. That was the day he stopped calling himself a student and became a trainer of his own mind. From that day, his English was no longer a dream. It was a skill, and skills, once trained, can never be taken away. Stay with me, my friend, because in the next part, you'll see how Liam built his full daily system, a fluency gym that transformed his brain and voice forever. After Liam trained his brain to think in English, everything felt different. His thoughts were faster. His words came easier. His fear started to fade. But he understood something important. Thinking in English is only the beginning. Speaking fluently requires daily training, like exercising a muscle. So he created something new for himself. He called it the Fluency Gym, a daily system to train his brain, mouth, ears, and confidence together. He didn't need a building, a teacher, or money. He only needed his time, his mirror, his cheap phone, and his discipline. That was enough. He treated English like an athlete treats sport, with routine, focus, and commitment, and soon. That mindset changed everything for him. Here's the system he followed every day. Simple but powerful. You can copy it too and watch your English transform step by step. He woke up early, not because he loved mornings, but because he wanted to practice before anyone could judge him. Step 1. Mirror sentences, 5 minutes. He looked at himself and said, "Good morning. My name is Liam. I speak English now. I am improving every day. Sometimes slow, sometimes loud, sometimes soft, but always clear." This simple exercise woke up his English muscles every morning. Step 2. Thought narration, 5 minutes. He looked around and described everything he saw. The sun is rising. My eyes are tired. The air feels cold. He didn't stop for mistakes. He kept talking. He focused on flow, not perfection, because stopping kills fluency. Speaking builds it. Step 3. Voice notes. 5 minutes? He opened WhatsApp, created a private group, and recorded 1-minute voice notes to himself every day. One topic, one message. Today I'll study harder. I'll repeat 5 sentences 10 times each. Then he listened to his recordings and analyzed his voice. He learned where he sounded weak, slow, or unclear. He improved by listening to himself, like an athlete watching game footage. He studied his progress. Repetition training. 10 minutes. He picked one useful sentence and said it 50 times. Can you please help me? Let's go for a walk. He changed tone, speed, and emotion. Sometimes slow, sometimes fast, sometimes loud. Each repetition trained his mouth to respond instantly in real life. Then came active listening. 10 minutes. He watched short English videos with subtitles, paused every line, and repeated it exactly like the speaker. He didn't just copy words. He copied rhythm, emotion, and pronunciation. He shadowed the voice until it felt natural in his own mouth. He practiced lines like, "Would you like some coffee?" and "Sure, that would be nice." Simple, realistic, and spoken with real feeling. Shadowing became his secret weapon. It built pronunciation, confidence, and natural rhythm, the way native speakers really talk. This was his quiet fluency zone. He went for a walk alone and described everything silently in English. There's a man sitting on the bench. The sky looks beautiful. That child is crying loudly. I'm walking faster today. He even described emotions. I feel nervous about tomorrow. I feel proud of my progress. He used silence to strengthen his inner English voice. It wasn't loud, but it was powerful. His brain learned to live in English mode naturally, without translation or fear. Before bed, Liam sat quietly and reviewed his day. Today I practiced for 45 minutes. I learned 5 new words. I'll do better tomorrow. Then he whispered one last sentence. I will speak better tomorrow. I am becoming fluent slowly. English is not difficult for me. These short affirmations spoke directly to his subconscious mind. They told his brain, this is who I am now. He followed this fluency gym routine every single day for 30 days. No excuses, no missed sessions, no giving up, and the results were powerful. After 10 days, he noticed fewer pauses. After 20, he stopped translating. After 30, his mouth was faster than his fear. His pronunciation improved. His speaking became natural. His confidence exploded. His family noticed. His teachers noticed. Most importantly, he noticed. One morning, his cousin asked, Bro, are you taking English classes? You sound different. Liam smiled and said, No, I created my own fluency gym. That answer surprised everyone. He hadn't joined any school. He hadn't paid for any app. He built everything from consistency and belief. He realized something all learners must remember. The world doesn't reward talent. It rewards training. Talent starts things, but consistency finishes them. The mirror became his gym. His thoughts became his coach. His phone became his teacher. His discipline became his success story. And that's what you can do too. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need small daily actions that move you forward. If you speak 1 minute today, speak 2 tomorrow. Repeat sentences until your mouth stops hesitating. Train your thoughts until English feels natural. That's how real fluency is built. Not from luck, but from practice that never stops. Stay with me, because in the next part, Liam's story moves into the real world. You'll see how his private fluency gym turned into real confidence, real conversations, and real opportunities. After a few months of following his fluency gym, something new started happening. Liam's English was no longer just a private routine. It began to show in real life. One evening, His cousin was watching an English video and didn't understand a sentence. He turned to Liam and asked, "Hey, what does that mean?" Without thinking, Liam answered, "It means he doesn't want to go there." His cousin smiled and said, "Oh, Mr. English now." They both laughed, but deep inside, Liam felt something powerful, proof. Not from a test or teacher, proof from life itself. After that, little things started changing. When he watched YouTube videos, he didn't need subtitles. When he listened to songs, he understood the lyrics. He replied faster in class. And when someone spoke English nearby, he didn't panic anymore. He joined the conversation with confidence. At home, he sometimes used English words at the dinner table. At first, his parents thought he was showing off. But one night, his father asked, "How did you improve so much? Did someone teach you?" Liam smiled and said, "No, Dad, I taught myself." His father didn't say much then. But later, Liam overheard him telling his mother, "Our boy might really go far." That moment meant everything. Until now, Liam had only spoken to himself, to mirrors, to voice notes, to his own thoughts. But he still hadn't spoken to a real stranger in English. One day, he saw a post online from a girl in Brazil. She wrote, "I'm looking for someone to practice English with." Liam hesitated. What if he made mistakes? What if she laughed? But then he remembered his promise. "I didn't train to hide. I trained to connect." So he replied, "Hey, I'd love to practice. I'm not fluent yet, but I'm trying." 2 minutes later, she responded, "Perfect. Let's help each other." They started chatting slowly. At first, short sentences, then longer messages, then voice notes. Finally, they had their first voice call. His hands were shaking, but his words came out. "Hi, can you hear me?" She laughed. "Yes, perfectly." And they began talking like friends. It wasn't fancy. They talked about movies, food, family, simple things. But for Liam, it felt like flying. Someone understood his English. That day, he cried a little, not from sadness, but from freedom. His voice, once afraid, had finally reached another person. That small moment gave him a dangerous question. What if I can use English to earn something? He didn't expect much. He just wanted to see if his skill had real-world value. So he created a small profile on a freelance website. He wrote, "Hi, I'm Liam. I can help with English typing, transcription, or writing. I'm not fluent, but I work hard." He waited. Days passed, no replies. But he didn't give up. He improved his profile, added samples, and kept checking messages. Then one day, he received his first message from a client in the Philippines. "Can you fix grammar in short paragraphs?" Liam said yes immediately. Even though he was nervous, it took him 2 hours to finish the work, but he sent it proudly. The next morning, the client replied, "This is perfect. I'll pay you $5 now." $5 may sound small to others, but to Liam, it was everything. It wasn't just money, it was validation. He looked at himself in the mirror that night and said, "We did it. You spoke. They understood. You earned it." That $5 felt like $5,000 because it proved his English had power, not just for communication, but for opportunity. From that moment, everything changed. He started believing completely. He realized English was no longer a subject, it was a skill, and skills can build a future. He began applying for more jobs: voice recording, writing, data entry, transcription, product descriptions. Every job taught him something new. He made mistakes, yes, but each mistake became part of his training. Every client made him stronger, faster, and more confident. Soon, people around him noticed. His classmates whispered, "How did he become so fluent? Did he join a fancy course?" Even a junior student came up to him one day and asked, "Bro, seriously, how did you learn to speak like this?" Liam smiled and said, I created my own system. I practiced every single day. I didn't focus on grammar. I focused on connection. The boy looked confused, so Liam explained, I trained my brain to think in English. I trained my mouth to speak daily. I trained my heart to ignore fear. The boy said, That's crazy. I thought you had a teacher. Liam laughed. I did. My mirror was my teacher. My mistakes were my lessons. My discipline was my classroom. He added, Fluency doesn't mean speaking fast. Fluency means never stopping. Months later, he had a 30-minute call with a client from Canada. They talked clearly. The client understood everything and said, You sound confident. Where are you from? Liam smiled and replied, From a small town where people never believed I could speak like this. The client laughed, impressed. That was the day Liam truly believed in himself, not because of compliments, but because he had used English to connect, help, earn, and grow. He looked at his reflection that night and whispered, This is only the beginning. Stay with me, my friend, because in the next part, you'll see how Liam's journey went from survival to success, from silence to salary. After Liam earned his first $5, he couldn't sleep that night. He kept staring at his phone, smiling quietly, feeling something deep inside him shift forever. It wasn't about the money, it was about proof. Proof that his effort, his late nights, his voice, his discipline had value in the real world. For years, he had felt small when others spoke English, but that night, he felt powerful. English was no longer his weakness. It had become his strength. He looked in the mirror and said, That $5 is not money. It's a message. It means my practice works. My voice matters. From that moment, he made a new decision. I will build my future with English, no matter how long it takes, no matter how hard it gets. He started applying for more freelance jobs, writing, proofreading, transcribing audio, helping clients with English emails. Most rejected him, but he didn't stop. He wrote better proposals every day. Each time he improved his words, his tone, his clarity. His English was now working for him. Then one day, he saw a post looking for someone to summarize English podcasts. He applied with a simple, honest message. I'm not perfect, but I'm consistent. If you give me a chance, I'll give you my best effort. 2 hours later, the client replied, Let's do a test. He worked for 3 hours, listened carefully, wrote slowly, checked his grammar 5 times, and sent it with faith. The client responded, This is amazing. I'll hire you full-time. Just like that, Liam got his first $250 per month job, all because of English. He still remembered the first meeting. It was a video call. His heart raced, his hands trembled, but he spoke slowly and clearly. He said, Hello, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. I've prepared my notes. The client smiled. You sound confident. He wasn't pretending. He was prepared. He spoke with truth, not perfection. That call lasted 23 minutes, and he earned more than his father's 3 days of labor. After the call, Liam looked at the same cracked mirror where it all began and whispered, We did it. Weeks passed. His work improved. He spoke with clients from Canada, the Philippines, and India. He wrote reports, summaries, and short articles, all in English. Then, one day, he met an old school friend at the market, the same one who once laughed when Liam froze during class. His friend said, I saw your LinkedIn. Are you really working with foreign clients? Liam smiled. Yes. Remember when I used to stutter at hello? His friend nodded, silent. Liam continued. While you were scrolling reels, I was talking to a mirror. While you were laughing, I was practicing. There was nothing more to say. The silence said it all. Liam had turned failure into fuel. That night, He walked home under the cool wind and thought, I didn't just learn English. I learned self-belief. I learned discipline. I learned how to change my life. Because fluency isn't just about speaking fast. It's about having the courage to speak when you're scared, tired, or unsure. Today, Liam works from home. He earns more than anyone in his family ever did. He writes, speaks, and leads meetings in English every day. He never went to an English school. He never paid for an expensive course. He never had a private tutor. He just had persistence. He says, before English, I avoided people. Now, I talk to the world. Before English, I was silent. Now, I lead conversations. Before English, I had dreams. Now, I have a plan. And that's the truth you need to hear today. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need a native accent. You don't need luck. You just need 15 minutes of mirror talk, 5 minutes of repetition, a mind that thinks in English, and a heart that refuses to give up. That's the real path to fluency. That's how ordinary people become confident speakers. That's how Liam changed his story, and how you can change yours too. If you feel afraid, speak anyway. If you make mistakes, keep going. If you doubt yourself, remember, fluency is built one brave sentence at a time. English is not just a language. It's a tool. It's freedom. It's your bridge to the world. But only if you choose to use it daily. Liam's story is proof that you can rise from silence to success. Not because of talent, but because of action, discipline, and faith. And now it's your turn. You have a voice. You have a dream. You have time. Start today. Speak one sentence. Make it real. If this story inspired you, don't just like it, live it. Share it with a friend who needs this reminder. And subscribe to Soulful English for more stories that change your confidence, your mindset, and your English forever. Because your voice matters, your story matters, and your English journey starts right now.